In this video, you will learn a very simple and effective method to play against the Jobava London system. After the move d4, black can play the knight f6, which is a very flexible move. Black develops his king's knight to its natural square and takes control of the e4 square, preventing white from occupying the center with his pawns. White can play knight c3, threatening to advance with e4 to occupy the center with his pawns. Black can respond with d5, placing a pawn in the center and increasing control over the e4 square, preventing white from occupying the center with his pawns. Now, white can play bishop f4, entering the Jobava London system attack. White's idea is to increase control over the e5 square and, at the same time, put pressure on the c7 pawn. For example, now knight c6 would be a mistake, because white plays knight b5, and black has no way to defend the entry of the white knight on the c7 square. In the same way, knight b to d7 is also not possible, since white can respond with knight b5 and is winning. After the move bishop f4, black can play in various ways, but the simplest and most effective way to quickly balance the game is to play c5. Black attacks the opponent's central pawn, creates tension in the center, and allows a quick exit for the queen on the a5 square. For example, now knight b5 is not possible, because black simply plays queen a5, check, and the white knight has to retreat to avoid being captured. After knight c3, black plays c takes d4. After queen takes d4, black plays knight c6, developing the queen's knight and attacking the opponent's queen. Black can continue with moves like e5, etc., and has an advantage. After the move c5, it's also not good for white to capture the pawn with d takes c5, since black plays d4, advancing in the center and threatening to capture white's knight, which has no good squares to go to. After, for example, knight b1, black can play e5, occupying the center with his pawns and threatening to capture the enemy bishop. After bishop takes e5, black plays knight c6, developing the queen's knight and threatening to capture the enemy bishop. After, for example, bishop takes f6, black plays queen takes f6. They can capture the c5 pawn with bishop takes c5. Black keeps the bishop pair, the d4 pawn greatly hinders the development of the opposing pieces, and black has an advantage. After the move c5, another option for white is e4, attempting to react in the center to try to seize the initiative. But black plays knight takes e4. After knight takes e4, d takes e4. White can play d takes c5, capturing a pawn and balancing the material. Black plays queen takes d1, check, and exchanges the queens. After rook takes d1. Black plays knight c6 and has very good play. After the move c5, white's best move is probably e3, strengthening the defense of the d4 pawn and allowing the development of the king's bishop. Black can play c takes d4, eliminating the opponent's central pawn. White responds e takes d4, recapturing with the pawn to keep his pawn in the center. Now, black can play a6, taking control of the b5 square to prevent the white pieces from using that square. At the same time, black prepares to attack the queenside in the future and launch a minority attack starting with b5. White can play knight f3, developing his king's knight. Black responds knight c6, and his plan is to develop the queen's bishop before making the move e6, so that his bishop can remain active outside the pawn chain. For example, if white plays bishop d3, black plays bishop g4, followed by e6, and has no problems. If after the move knight c6, white plays bishop e2, black can still play bishop g4, developing the queen's bishop before making the move e6, so that the bishop can remain active outside the pawn chain. White can castle. Black plays e6, connecting his pawns and allowing the development of his king's bishop. If white now plays h3, attacking black's bishop, black simply plays bishop takes f3, eliminating the opponent's knight and simplifying the position. After bishop takes f3, black plays bishop d6, completing the development of his minor pieces and opposing the opponent's bishop's action, with the idea of taking away the opponent's bishop pair. The game is balanced. After the move e6, white can play knight e5, centralizing the knight and freeing up the action for his king's bishop. Black can play bishop takes e2, exchanging the light-squared bishops. After knight takes e2, black plays bishop d6, completing the development of his minor pieces and attacking the opponent's center knight. After knight takes c6, b takes c6. Bishop takes d6, queen takes d6. The position is completely equal, and black has no problems at all. After the move knight c6, white can play knight e5, centralizing the knight and trying to hinder the development of black's queen's bishop. Black can play e6 to develop his king's bishop to the d6 square and quickly attack the e5 knight, which is a very strong piece. White can play knight takes c6, with the idea of trying to weaken black's queenside pawn structure. After b takes c6, white can play knight a4, targeting the weak squares on the queenside and preventing black's reaction with c5. Black can play bishop d6, developing the queen's bishop and opposing the enemy bishop's action. Black's plan is to castle kingside. And then he can play moves like a5, followed by bishop a6, with the idea of exchanging the light-squared bishops. Black has very good play. For example, if white plays bishop g3, to defend his bishop, black can castle. After bishop d3, black can play a5, with the idea of following up with bishop a6, to exchange the light-squared bishops, and he has very good play. For example, if white castles, black plays bishop a6 and has no problems at all. If white plays queen e2, to prevent the black bishop from moving to the a6 square, black can play rook e8. White can castle kingside. Black plays bishop takes g3. After h takes g3. Black plays queen d6, with the idea of preparing for the break with e5 and, finally, freeing his position. Black has good play. After the move bishop d6, white can immediately exchange bishops with bishop takes d6. After queen takes d6, white can play bishop d3, completing the development of his minor pieces and preparing to castle. Black can castle. White can castle. Black can play knight d7, with the idea of breaking in the center with c5 or e5. After, for example, queen d2, to connect the rooks. Black can play a5, with the idea of developing the bishop to the a6 square to exchange bishops and, finally, free his position. Now, queen e2 is not possible to prevent the move bishop a6, because black plays queen b4, attacking the knight and the d4 pawn and is winning. And after queen e3, black plays bishop a6 and balances the game. Now that you know a very simple scheme plan to counter the Jobava attack of the London system, I recommend you watch this other video, in which you'll see a typical plan and see how easy it is to play with the black pieces against the Jobava London system. Click on the video and see you there.